So Paco Rabanne's 1 Million Lucky is a fragrance that I purchased the first year it came out back in 2018 because after smelling this one, I knew I just had to have it. And it was one of the first fragrances that I purchased at Macy's without even thinking about the price or anything like that because I loved it that much. So let's go ahead and review 1 Million Lucky by Paco Rabanne. Hey, what's going on guys? Hunter here and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new, what I do is I make fragrance related content. So if you love fragrances, go to smash the subscribe button down below. But that's right guys, we are reviewing the Lucky Flanker of 1 Million today. And I'm so excited to be reviewing this one because like I said from the intro, I absolutely fell in love with this fragrance. It was just so polarizing to me. It was one of the most unique, different fragrance that I've ever smelled in my life, and I didn't even know these kind of fragrances existed at the time because this was like one of my first fragrances in my entire collection in general back in 2018. I think this was either like the fourth or the fifth one in my collection, way before this YouTube channel started and way before I started actually collecting heavy like you see behind me. This was one that just absolutely blew my mind, and we'll get to that, like the reason why it blew my mind later on in the video. But let's go over some information about this fragrance. So this was launched in 2018. You can pick up a 50 ml size bottle for $74, or you can pick up a 100 ml bottle like you see here for $95. And the perfumer behind 1 Million Lucky is Natalie Garcia Seto. I think that's how you pronounce that. I've honestly never heard of this perfumer before, but I'm definitely gonna look into some of her creations after knowing she created this. Now there also has been some scares like the past few years of this being discontinued, which I don't think it is yet. So I think you can still pick these up at like Sephora, your local department store, stuff like that, which is a good thing because that would break my heart if this one did get discontinued, even though I still have quite a lot of juice left, probably around like 80, maybe 90 mils left of this 100 ml bottle. So I'll probably be good for probably the rest of my life. But this one is just so good and probably my favorite 1 Million flanker there is. I do own the parfum as well, but this one is just so different than all of the other 1 Millions. But with that aside, let's go ahead and look at the packaging and presentation of Lucky now. So in the top notes, you get plum, ozonic notes, grapefruit, and bergamot. In the middle notes, you have hazelnut, honey, cedar, cashmere wood, orange blossom, and jasmine. And in the base notes, you have amberwood, patchouli, oak moss, and vetiver. Now I must say myself, guys, that is a very nice note breakdown with a bunch of unique notes that you don't really see that often in fragrances. But and I also want to mention, since you looked at the packaging really quick, that if you can tell you have a newer bottle because I believe the glass on the back is no longer see-through. It's kind of like the original 1 Million or 1 Million Parfum. So yeah, it's how you know if you have like an older batch, it's see-through, and if you have a newer one, it's not see-through anymore. But let's go ahead and spray this and test out the atomizer that's built in, just like all of the other 1 Million bottles. So I'm gonna spray it on this arm because I have something on that arm now. Let's see. Ooh, very nice atomizer. And that just got all over me, guys, but I'm not complaining because I love this fragrance so much. So let's see. Whew, man, okay, I pick it up in the air already. Don't even have to put my nose up to it, but let's see what I pick up. That opening is pretty much to die for. You do have like a nice fruity plum in there. Yeah, you get a bunch of plum. And like I said, plum is not a note that you see that often in fragrances, and it's done very well here. Alongside the plum, you do have that grapefruit. The plum and the grapefruit are like the two more dominant notes that I pick up on the opening. You have a juicy grapefruit. That opening is just top notch, guys. There's nothing quite like this opening I've ever smelled in my life. And I must have had really good taste back in 2018, which now would be 4 years at the time of this recording this has been out. And my bottle, like I said, is 4 years old. Whew. So it's had time to like macerate and become even denser like fragrances do. Yeah, man, this stuff is strong too. Now, once you get past the opening with the plum, the bergamot, now the bergamot does disappear pretty fast, but the plum is pretty much stays for a few hours into the life of 1 Million Lucky. But alongside the plum, you also get this hazelnut accord. It's very, very nutty. And I remember when I first smelled this, I was like, whoa, what is that? That smells like hazelnuts. And I was like, how in the world did they do that with a fragrance? Make a fragrance smell like hazelnuts, guys. And I was just, like I said, completely blown away the moment I smelled this one. I'm not even sure why I smelled this one. I think it was just random. I think I went to it. I don't think someone behind the counter pretty much showed me. I think I just went to it, maybe like the new thing. I was like, oh, that looks like a cool bottle. Because I didn't really know anything about 1 Million, nothing like that. And this one was love at first sniff, because of that hazelnut accord that you pick up on. With the hazelnut, you also have honey as well. And if you're a follower of my channel, I talk about honey all the time, how much I love it. It's one of my favorite notes. I just love honey in general. I love the taste of honey. I love adding honey to everything like teas. Just pretty much everything I'm adding honey to because it's like a natural sugar. But in here, it is a pretty sweet honey. It is a very dense honey as well. It's a little bit cloying. If you do wear this one in the warmer months, it can come across a little bit overpowering, a little bit cloying because of the honey. It's a little bit sticky. And in the dry down, alongside the honey, the hazelnut, you do have the amberwood, which gives it a nice modern kind of golden, warm touch to the fragrance. And you also have that patchouli too, which gives it a nice earthy backbone to it too. All those notes pretty much combined, I think just works absolutely wonderful. I think Paco Rabanne knocked it out of the park with this fragrance here. At the time, back in 2018, especially from a department store, this was very different. This was very unique. It wasn't like your Bleu de Chanel's, your Sauvages. I think even like YSL maybe may have been out at the time, but like Spice Bomb, stuff like that. This was just so unique. And I never smelled like a nutty fragrance besides this one at the time, at least. And even at the moment, there's not that many nutty fragrances. Obviously, there is some, but I think this has got to be one of the best ones still to this day, 4 years later. Now, as far as seasons that I recommend to wear 1 Million Lucky, this is primarily a fall fragrance. This does kind of have like a coffee kind of vibe to it. I can definitely see people thinking, it does smell like hazelnut coffee, which is very popular. It does kind of come across like that. So this kind of smells like a coffee shop. Very warming. If you ever walk into a coffee shop during like the colder months, like fall, you walk in there, you get all the aromas. That's how this one kind of comes across to me. So it works absolutely perfect for the fall time. And that's usually what I primarily wear it for. That's why I still have so much of it, because I only wear this one during the fall because I have so many other fragrances and I like to just stick with this one for that season. It will obviously also work in the winter as well because you have the amberwood, you have the hazelnut, you also have obviously the patchouli, and it is a little bit woody from the cedar too, and then the honey, which is very, very sweet and very, very cloying. So it would work in the winter time, but definitely stay away from the warmer months like spring and summer. As far as who do I see wearing 1 Million Lucky now, honestly, this does come across pretty unisex, I must say. There's nothing very masculine about it. There's nothing very feminine about it. It's just right there in the middle. I think anyone can wear this one because it's just nutty. It's very sweet and like from the honey. And you do obviously have like the patchouli and stuff in the dry down. But at the end of the day, it is sort of a unisex fragrance. So if you're a woman and you're looking at this one, you love hazelnut, you love the note of honey, I mean, you can definitely try it out. I don't see anything wrong with it, but yeah, that's just my opinion. Now, as far as age groups go for this one, honestly, this is very, very playful, very youthful, very playful in my opinion, because it is sweet and it comes across kind of different. So I think anyone in high school, you can wear this one. Pretty much very, very versatile. If you're a younger guy, younger girl, whatever, you can wear this one. If you're older as well, you can wear this one. It's just very versatile when it comes to ages and who can rock this. So for performance of 1 Million Lucky, now the longevity honestly is not the best. It is an EDT concentration, so it's not gonna be like an eau de parfum or an extrait de parfum. It is a little bit on the airier side. It's not that potent. As longevity, I get probably about like maybe around 6 hours or so. But where things change is the projection. Man, this stuff projects so good. So good. Almost every time I wear this, I pretty much usually get a compliment because people can just smell it. And it just smells so different than what your normal person smells on a regular basis as far as cologne. And it even was for me too back in 2018. I'd never smelled anything like it. So yeah, this is a compliment magnet. This thing projects easily over 6 feet without a problem for probably around like 3-4 hours or so. So nothing to worry about projection, but the longevity, it can definitely be a little bit better, but that's no problem. Because you don't always want your fragrances to last until the next day. You always want to maybe like wear something else, or if you come home from work, you want to whatever you want to do, spray something else on to test out or whatnot. You don't have to like overlay something. Yeah, the performance, definitely average in my opinion. So that's pretty much gonna wrap up my review of Paco Rabanne's 1 Million Lucky. Let me know down below if you've ever tried this one, if you've tried any of the 1 Millions and which is your favorite. I definitely am not honestly a huge fan of the original. I think that one is played out. I've known so many people with that being their signature scent, and I smelled it all the time, especially at work and stuff like that. So it's just kind of not for me. I do love the Lucky Flanker and I love the Parfum. But they also just released an elixir version of 1 Million, which really does pique my interest. I cannot wait to smell that one. And they also have like Privé, which I think did get discontinued instead of Lucky. And I don't really remember what that one smells like. I think it's a little bit darker, a little bit more heavy on like tobacco and stuff like that. More of like a winter fragrance. But yeah, let me know down below your thoughts of 1 Million Lucky. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch all you guys in the next upload. Take care, everybody.